Stay tuned for the Joan Quinn Profiles. Joan served the state of California as a member on the Arts Council and on the Film Commission. She was formerly on the Architectural Commission and fulfilled 2 terms on the Fine Arts Commission for the city of Beverly Hills. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview magazine, Condé Nast Publications, and the Hearst Corporation, Joan covered the world of fashion, the mysteries of food, the excitement of theater, and the international art scene. She continues to find people who are on the cutting edge of their professions. Here's Joan AGAJAINIAN Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled in this Max Factor historic building at the Hollywood Museum are actress Shelley Morrison and singer Shelea Frazier. Award-winning actress Shelley Morrison was born and raised in the Bronx. She came to LA when she was a youngster. She went to Los Angeles High School and LA City College, where she studied in the theater arts program. She was Rosario in Will and Grace, which ran for 8 seasons. And why was that such a great role, Shelley?
Because I was playing my mother.
Oh, you knew how to do it?
My mother was extraordinary. She was so smart. She smoked. She smoked.
She did?
In her later years, she would smoke a little weed when.
Really?
Yeah, because she was really in a lot of pain.
Ah.
But she spoke 6 languages, but she wouldn't suffer a fool.
And so here you are, Morrison, but you come from this Hispanic kind of background.
Sephardic.
Sephardic.
Sephardic. My first language in the Bronx was Ladino.
Oh, that's...
Ladino.
Right.
Ladino.
But no, it's not Turkish, is it? It's not Turkish and it's not Spanish.
It's all mixed up.
It's all mixed up.
It's all mixed up. And the swear words are wonderful.
Oh, they were?
Oh, God, they're so colorful.
Did you use them on Will and Grace?
No.
You couldn't use them?
No, I never swore.
Uh-huh.
I've never sworn. I don't have an outtake of me swearing.
So why was that such a great role, other than that you were playing your mother?
The show said something. It made a difference. And laughter is the best medicine, and it's also the best way to get something across.
Right, laughter heals you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to have the best of both worlds, to have this incredible writing.
I was going to say, for 8 seasons, how was the writing going?
The writing was superb. We had a new script every day, and then the way we would film it would be in front of a live audience.
Oh, you did?
Yes. So we do the first scene, and then the Jim Burrows, the director, and the writers and the producers would get to the script supervisor, and they would start changing, and they'd call us over. They say, okay, Shelley, say this here. Don't say this here. Megan, say this here. Say this instead of this. Sean, don't say this instead. Okay, run it. Okay, do it.
And you'd have to do it.
And we go to the next scene.
But you know, when you say you filmed in front of a live audience, that was kind of like being on stage, wasn't it?
Perfect. Perfect. Ideal. You can feel them, you can sense them. And the writing was, when they would change things, and sometimes I would say, are you sure I can say that? Are you sure? I mean, is that okay? Just say it, Shelley, just say it.
Oh, and then they would, yeah.
And everybody in Hollywood, every movie star, everybody wanted to be on our show.
Oh, so you had a lot of guest stars, and it kept going, right? But we talked about theater. It felt like theater. Did you do theater?
65 plays.
Oh, you did.
Either dancing, acting, producing, or directing.
And when you came out of LACC, you were actually dancing, weren't you?
Before City College, I was dancing.
Oh, before?
Before that.
How did that happen?
Of dancing?
Yeah.
I love dancing. So now I'm walking with a cane.
You're right. Too much dancing.
Too much dancing. But my classmates at City College were James Coburn and Robert Vaughn.
They had a great theater arts department, didn't they?
Brilliant.
It's
Brilliant.
amazing, because you think of it as a city college that you're not going to have great departments. They had a good art department.
Fabulous. And music.
And music too, right?
And music too. And they were very patient with me because when I went there, I still had my accent from the Bronx.
You did?
So
Oh,
I
tell
used to talk like this.
That's
That's the
what
way
I-
I spoke. You know, and Shakespeare doesn't sound too good when you're talking like this. But I had a wonderful voice teacher there, Alice Parishon, and she worked with me with a tape recorder, you know, placement.
Oh, she did.
Oh, and we did Shakespeare and Ibsen and Chekhov and Moliere. It was
Fantastic.
It was grand.
Fantastic training. So when you came out, did you get a job right away? Were you Morrison then, or were you?
I was Morrison by then, yeah.
You were Morrison. And tell us how that came about, because that isn't really a Sephardic name.
My maiden name is Matrani, and my father's name was Maurice, but we called him Morris, so that's where Morrison
So you
came.
picked it up, so it was in honor of your father.
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
You honor your mother and you honor your father.
You played your mother, and then you honored your father.
My father was very smart, too. He was,
Was there show business in your family?
No, but he was an activist. He was political, and he would write letters to the president, and we have framed letters that he got back from Roosevelt and from Jacqueline Kennedy
Where was he born?
in Turkey,
Oh, he was.
and my mother, too.
So they came here as like part of the American dream.
They came here separately.
Oh,
They came here separately, but then, they were terrific together.
oh, that's so great.
Oh, God, I miss them. You know.
Oh, I know.
Oh, don't.
Let's not talk about it,
'Cause they
because
were
we miss him too. My
they-
father was fantastic too.
Where was he from?
He was from here. He was born here, but he was a race promoter and race car owner, and so he was like bigger than life.
My father, too.
And so I was thinking about him a lot lately.
They weren't very tall, but they were.
He was tall and handsome and wore a big cowboy hat. Get back. Did you ever play with any cowboys in your films?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
Oh my! I was a recurring character on a show called Laredo at
Oh.
Universal. I played Linda Littletrees. I had my own horse, Gunsmoke, McKenna's Gold.
Oh, you did. You did. You
a lot
did.
of horseback riding.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, my.
So was it easy to move into TV? Did you start with film?
I started in live TV.
Oh, that was.
Oh, that talk about.
So you were with this live TV, and they had those huge cameras.
Well, I remember the big cameras on the movie sets because they were the Mitchells.
Oh, I
And
see.
they took 3, 4 guys to move it. Now I've learned so many technical things producing film.
I was going to say, now you're producing, so do you think about those things and the angles and all that?
No, my husband directs.
Ah,
He writes.
I see.
He's in it. He's also producing. I'm the executive producer,
Walter Dominguez.
Walter Dominguez.
Yes, should we get to that? Let's just do one more thing, because you brought up your Bronx accent, and you did a movie with Gregory Peck. I think that's a
Oh,
great
my
story.
God. Well, no, the thing with dear Mr. Peck, oh, what a sweet man.
Wonderful.
Here I am dressed as a horrible outfit. And every morning, Mr. Peck would come up to me and say, "Good morning, Shelley." And every morning I'd say, "Oh my God, it's Gregory Peck." He loved it.
He loved it. And but you didn't have that kind of accent in the movie, did you? No, you had to change it. You were doing.
But Eli Wallach was also on that film, who was such a darling. I mean, every great character actor in Hollywood was in that movie.
Well, it takes me to the point of, did you learn from these character actors?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, my God, what an incredible education. When I was working, I would never go sit in my dressing room. I would sit and watch everything. I would ask the cameraman, teach me about lenses. I'd go to the sound man, the Nagra, this new sound. I would go to the prop. I wanted to know everything. And when I was doing the Flying Nun, the editor on that show, Howie Coonan, God bless him, when they didn't need me, I'd be in the editing room, and he would be teaching me editing, and I learned more about acting in the editing room.
So you had a great, well-rounded education. Do a lot of people do that, or?
Everybody has to follow their own passion.
And that's what you were passionate about, learning every aspect.
I should have been a detective. I loved the
Well,
minutia.
getting to detective takes us to Walter Dominguez and his film, right? Because he was digging for all this information, and so were you.
It's his baby.
Tell me about it. Tell us the film. There's so many different paths in your life and in his father's life that come together.
I'm not in the film at all. I am the executive producer. My husband, Walter Dominguez, wrote it, directed it. He's in it. I was there. Believe me, I was there. It took us 12 years.
Wow, really?
And we put our own money into it because we couldn't ask somebody, you're going to wait, because we don't have an ending.
So let's talk about it. It's called Weaving the Past.
Weaving the Past, Journey of Discovery. It's about Walter's quest to find out about his grandfather, who was such an extraordinary influence on him. And
that's where I meant the detective work came in, because he had to dig way back to the 1900s or before that?
Before that.
Before that.
And so the research of this film, and to find out that his grandfather, who was this beloved minister, was one of the early revolutionary people in the Mexican Revolution. And
so how did he find out all of that?
But he also wanted to find his grandfather's family on that side. And that was over 100 years. So a lot of detective work, a lot of just sticking with it, like we were being led, because we were making connections.
Those were the paths I was talking about. You had these spiritual paths you were following.
But not only that, we started feeling that the world today, people don't connect anymore. They're on their cell phone. They're tweeting. People are getting detached. And so the film being led to all the people that help us in the film to find the story, which is entertaining and funny and educational. There's a passion about this film that people come away from it. Men, women, young people, they feel hopeful.
That's the point. That is the thing that we were talking about. The Sundance Channel is doing these great series that are like independent films, and they're actually like connecting with people.
That's it. That's it. And there's such a joy of going and spending some time in a collective experience with other people around you, and laughing and crying and feeling. And then afterwards, a lot of the young people would come up to me and they would say, and to my husband, we want to go home and we want to talk to our parents and our grandparents. We want to get the stories.
So is this film finished now?
Oh, yes, we're opening. And it's for the family, it's for everybody that just wants to see a story again, a story the way they used to make them, but that's real. It's a hybrid. It's not really a documentary with just a bunch of talking heads.
Oh, right, good.
No, because Walter is he takes everybody, and after I saw it, when it was all put together, it was like, when was the last time that you saw a film that changed your life?
And this is a life-changing film.
This is.
Thank you for bringing it to us.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. Don't go away. We'll be right back with vocalist Shelea. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. We're taping at the Hollywood Museum, and I'm with singer Shelea Frazier, who made her debut album, Love Fell on Me. She showed that she can sing, write, play the piano, arrange, and produce, all in that album, I think. She graduated from Oakwood College, and you joined a group of really noted alumni there. Who went to school there?
Right, Brian McKnight, who's also featured on my album, which is kind of cool.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. And my brothers, Take Six, who I always say gave me my first break.
Take Six is your brother?
Well, Take
The
Six,
group?
the group. I call them my brothers affectionately.
Because my gosh, I thought, oh,
Right, what a legacy to come from, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I have all sisters, no brothers, unfortunately.
Oh.
But yeah, so they're my adopted brothers. They gave me my first break. I was on their album, Someone to Watch Over Me, singing Someone to Watch Over Me, and their album was called The Standard.
And that was a big break for you, wasn't it?
It was a big breakthrough. That's how I met Stevie Wonder, because Stevie
Is
Wonder
that-
heard me on that album.
Had you seen him in person?
Never.
Where were you born?
I was born in Redwood City in the Bay Area, Northern California, and then I was raised in Bakersfield, California, which is smack in the middle,
Right.
about 2 hours north of Los Angeles, and now I'm in Orange County, which I love.
And did any of those places have a profound influence on your career?
You know, I can't say that it did. You know, in Bakersfield, you know, Buck Owens is the guy, you know, so I didn't listen to country, although I do love country
it's
music.
True. Do you sing country music?
You know, I write country music, and I do sing it. It's not the lane that I'm using for my own, you know, as an artist myself, but I do love it. So I can't say that was an influence. I grew up in the church, so that was kind of the big...
In Bakersfield?
In Bakersfield, yeah.
Because what I was going to ask is, if you came from a musical family, Take Six is not really your brother, but,
Right.
did you come from a musical family?
I did. My mom sings, and she plays the piano. My dad also plays the piano. My sisters are, you know, they have a musicality to them. So yeah, it was in the DNA.
So it was part of your career path. I mean, there
Sure.
was no other way for you to go.
Or so I thought, you know. I mean, I come from a family of educators as well, so they never really, you know, thought of me as making music my career. That was just something I did in church.
I see.
So it was about going to school, getting your degree, and that's what it
But
was
talk about the church choir, because
Right.
so many very well-known singers have started in the church choir.
Absolutely.
Why do you think? What propels them into being solo singers, composers?
I personally think culturally, particularly with the African American culture, you have a lot of upbringing in the church. You either had your mom who took you to church, your grandmother, she raised you, that took you to church. So that was a lot of, you know, who you became as a person. And so for me, I was at church, you know, every Saturday. And so I just had to be a part of the children's choir, and so that naturally happened.
Because I was going to say,
that was part of the church culture, was being in the choir.
It brings part of a spiritual life to your
Sure,
body,
sure.
to yourself. But do all the kids join the choir?
Not everyone.
Because I couldn't sing. I would never join the choir.
Well, I have some sisters, you know, some of my older sisters that, you know, they obviously didn't take to it, you know, they didn't stay in it as long as I did. You know, I had a natural proclivity to music, so you know, I naturally wanted to.
Did you play an instrument?
I play the piano.
And do you compose on the piano?
I do. In fact, the album you just mentioned, Love Fell on Me, I wrote all the songs on that album.
Let's talk about that. Where did those inspirations come from? Let's talk about one by one. How many? How many?
Songs on the album,
tracks. How many cuts? How many whatever?
That's right. There's a whole lot of terms you can use. That's right. I believe, because I had two versions. I think this one had 14.
Well, that's 14. A lot.
That's a lot of songs.
14. How long does it take you to do that?
You know, some of these songs were written within, you know, about 6 months of the release of the album, but some of these songs were very old songs that I had written about 5-6 years ago, and we kind of reformatted them, reproduced them, and made them,
But they were all your own.
You
wrote the music and the words.
That's right.
And then you have a producer come in and say, oh, listen, Shelea.
You know, I produced it with a good friend of mine named Tony Shepard. And there's a few songs I do want to give a shout out to. Phil Galdston. I co-wrote some of the songs with him on there.
And so does he have a say in how they're sung or presented or
the co-writer?
Yeah.
You know, no, because as the artist, I have such a very strong voice. Not just the audible voice, but I have a very specific way that I want the song to be sung.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so it's you're doing it. So then do you call yourself the producer?
I am the producer.
You are?
Yeah, I am the producer.
So you did that.
Along with Tony Shepard, we produced it together. But the thing is, like you said, at the core of it, it's me at the piano. I write the song. you know, the whole process. I write it, and then I play the piano version of it, and then we add layers to it. We add the bass, we add the drums, we add the horn arrangement or the strings.
So you don't have a live band in there. You're doing it all on computer?
No, we have them come one at a time, though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you do it. And where do you do that? Where's the studio?
So blessed. The same guy, Tony Shepard, who's my producer and longtime friend, he's got a home studio that we're able to record. So it's like that's my second home.
Perfect.
So it's great. There's a lot of great sounding records that came out of there, though. Backstreet Boys and Barbra Streisand, all those.
From his?
From his studio. He's an amazing engineer as well. So that's where he's most known, a lot of movie projects.
What kind of music would you call your music?
You know, this album that I just released in June, I would say it's an R&B pop album. But I just did a show last night at the Catalina Bar and Grill.
I was going to ask you, because you've been singing in different venues,
that's
right? And
that's right.
What kind of venues? Catalina, we know, has singers come and groups.
That's right.
Where
that's
else
right.
would you sing?
I just came from Tokyo. I did Blue Note Tokyo.
Oh, bravo for you.
Yeah, that was very fun. With Kirk Whalum, who's an amazing jazz musician.
How long were you there?
I was there for about a week and a half. Yeah, so that was awesome. And then right before that, I was in Cape Town, South Africa. We were performing for the Jazz Festival, the International Jazz Festival, also with Kirk Whalum.
But you have to be invited to that, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing.
Well, I was with Kirk Whalum, so he invited me. So I wasn't there quite yet for Shelea, but that's coming. That's coming.
Let's talk about it. Shelea with one name.
That's
How did that happen?
You know, it's kind of a tough name to begin with.
well, your mom is Sheila, right?
That's right. That's
right.
So
how'd she put that together?
And my baby sister is Shelana. So,
oh my gosh!
You know, so
in your house, Sheila, Shelana, blah blah.
That's right. So it's funny, when I was growing up, I always knew when the teacher was coming to my name. She would always pause and, you're going to have to help me with this. So we thought it was a unique name, so let's just go with, keep it simple, Shelea.
Shelea, one name.
Yeah.
It's tough to live up to one name, though, don't you think?
Yeah. But I think it's different enough to where it's like, hey, once you learn it, you got it.
So did you think back on your career, because your career is starting and it's rolling and it's new? Was there a break? Was there some turning point that made you know that you were going to propel yourself?
I feel like I've had such an interesting path. I've had a few breaks. So people consider a few breaks.
Good.
But they've come very early in my career. 2 years ago, I performed at the White House. So that was a big break.
I wanted to talk about that, because
so we can save that if you want to. But I would consider that to be kind of a
big break.
A big one.
I want to talk about that because it was really important that you were there. It was because of the writers.
Right, yes, absolutely. They give out this award.
Hal David.
That's right. Hal David and Burt Bacharach, they were the recipient of the Gershwin Prize that the White House gives every year.
And so the people, Burt was there, and I think the widow of Hal David. Those are all really, the Davids were really great friends of ours.
Oh, wow.
So to know that you were there singing his songs, because he was such a wonderful person.
That's what I hear. And
Incredible.
And he was still alive when that tribute aired. And so I didn't get to meet him personally, but his beautiful wife, Eunice, David, as you know, she let me know that he saw the recording. In fact, she was at the show last night, which I was so honored to have her. Yeah, and I did one of their songs, the song that I performed at the White House, which was Anyone Who Had a Heart.
So they were honoring Bacharach and David for their songs. They got the Gershwin Award, and you got to come up and sing one of their songs.
Yeah.
I mean, had you been to the White House before?
Never.
How did it feel?
Oh, I felt like I was in the middle of a history book, just walking the halls, and just, the significance of, because I am an African-American woman, having the opportunity to meet President Obama and his wife, Michelle Obama. I brought my dad with me, and so it was just a moment to remember.
That's fantastic. And what did you sing?
Anyone Who Had a Heart.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then, but you were suggested. Did Stevie Wonder suggest you?
He did. He tried.
Because
he tried.
he did?
But what happened was PBS, you know, they had to go for the ratings, which I understand. With networks, we know how this industry works. And so, you know, they said, you know, she could be the best singer in the world, but we've never heard of her. So I didn't hear anything back. But they ended up calling me because
oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
You were like on pins and needles. And then did you play with Sandoval? Did Sandoval play with you?
Arturo Sandoval, the amazing trumpeter. Yeah. And arranger, and I mean,
That
the list
was
goes on
wonderful
about him.
when
Yeah.
he came on and then the two of you
Yeah.
took your bows.
Yeah. He's
I mean,
such
I
a
was
good
like,
guy.
oh, this is so great. Have you worked with film? Have you written any music for film?
You know, I would love to do a lot more, but I did also another big break, as you were saying, I felt was one of my big breaks. I wrote the theme song for the Sony motion picture Jumping the Broom.
Oh, so because it must be a different kind of experience writing for a film.
It really was. The song was already written, you know, and so they heard the song and felt like it became such a theme for the characters in the film. But every time I see the film, it's this, I can't stop this little silly grin I get, you know, because they play it about 4 times throughout the film.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So they made it the theme song
That's
for
great.
The characters. For
And the
Jason
other
and
one,
Sabrina.
Sherry Shepherd's wedding song, what was that?
Right, yeah, I wrote this song called I'm Sure It's You. I feel so bad now because she's going through a divorce. But
That's okay.
But at
You
the
wrote
time, they
wedding
were very much in love, and I had written the song, you know, previously, and so she heard the song and immediately went. So when she walked down the aisle, I sang "I'm Sure
Did
It's
you
You."
sing it?
I did.
So you
I
were
was
there
I was
singing
there.
it?
I ended up singing about 3 or 4 times for her wedding.
That's great.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
other thing is you sang for the Dodgers.
Yes, that is.
I mean, talk about breaks. Are these
Yeah.
breaks or are these like part of your career now? I think these are part of your career.
It seems that I'm hoping. Let's hope.
You did something at National Women's History Museum.
Oh, thank you so much for
What was
knowing
that?
about
Bringing
that.
awareness.
Yes, absolutely. You know, they're trying to build a women's museum on the Strip in D.C., which I think is long overdue. And so this was a event to just kind of bring awareness and you know, get the ball rolling on that.
You've done a lot of other charity works too.
Yes, and you know, and I like that it's kind of starting this path for women. I was able to be part of this huge global movement headed by Eve Ensler. And I don't know if you saw that on February 14th, a couple years ago.
But Eve Ensler is fabulous, and she's a real activist and a brilliant playwright.
Right. So she had this brilliant idea on February 14th, Valentine's Day, for this huge global movement. Tina Clark wrote this amazing song called Breaking the Chains, and it was called 1 Billion Rising, which was based on the startling statistic that 1 billion women in the world has been abused, has been
unbelievable,
in some
right?
way. And so this was basically this movement that said on February 14th, all the women all over the world are going to dance.
And you did.
So we did, and they danced to the song that I was a part of called Breaking the Chain. So all over the world, this video was played. And I mean, it was incredible to see all these different countries, all these different women from all different walks of life, outside, wherever they were, dancing on February 14th. So that was incredible to be a part of.
And I think that's a great way to end our interview.
Yeah!
Go to Dodger Stadium.
That's
sing
right.
that song.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shelea.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Such
you.
a pleasure.
Thanks. And thanks for being with us. JAQUINN1 at AOL.com. Keep writing. See you next time.